And now, it's time for Monday Afternoon Live, right here on the Daily Joe Podcast.
Oh, man. What's happening? We're live. We're live right here. Right here, right now on, what is this, August? What is this? I gotta look at my phone. 26. I cannot read the small font on my computer. I've enlarged it, and it's just way too big. You can't really get to anything, you know, with the mouse cursor or whatever you want to call it. So I had to put it back to the recommended settings, and I can barely see it. I can make it smaller to access a lot of things, but man, then I really can't see nothing. So, welcome everybody. This is a unscheduled stream, as I always say, because I never know what's going to happen. You know, with the way I work. The way I work is just everything's always up in the air. You know, you never know what's going on. We got some people popping in already. That's really nice, man. Let's get the applause button ready, and let's give some people some thanks for being here. So we got Andrew Knox. He says, "What up?" Hey, man. Ryan from 0812. He says, "What's this now?" We're making a little half a attempt at doing something here, man. And did I say Charlie S? Charlie S. Hey, man. How are you doing? Thank you, Charlie, for being here. Thank you, everybody, for showing up, for this just popping in like this. I really, really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. My wife is out of town. She left early this morning. She took off to go down to Somerville to help with the grandbaby. She's been doing that for, since the baby was born. Maverick, I call him Little Mav. And he is, God, what is he, 7 months old now? So she'll go down, sorry for the Harley or whatever that is going past. And she goes down there to help babysit. It's like every other week. So anyway, so I'm doing the bachelor thing, if you will. You know, and so I fixed me some lunch, and I was just sitting there and said, man, why don't just go live if it's just for 45 minutes or an hour or whatever. It's different, man, when you're home alone almost, and you get off of work and you come, you know, it's just a weird atmosphere. You know, it's like, wow, you know. It's like, hello. It's just weird. Anyway, so starting off this stream here, time to crank the stack. Yeah. Hey, it's funny you say that, man. It's funny you say that. The PV 5150, you can't really see it right there. I actually turned that on last week. I think it was last Monday. A week ago today. I haven't turned that stack on in forever. So I went ahead and I had retubed it a long time ago. And I said, man, you know, man, I just need to see if this thing will work. My God, I didn't know what I was missing, man. I went ahead and turned that sucker on, let it heat up a little bit. I put some pedals in the effects loop. I put the micro pitch in the effects loop. All right, this is the PV 5150, not the EVH brand. I mean, I would love to have one of those. Just, I don't know. I think they look cool. I got the Boss Harmonist in the effects loop, and the Boss DD5 in the effects loop. And then a couple of pedals up front, man, like a little EP boost and MXR Phase 90. Anyway, you get it. You guitar players, y'all get it. So I turned it on, man, and I said, let me, you know, so it's dusty. I need to dust it off, man. It's been sitting for years. But I let it warm up a little bit, man, and I played it, and wow. I was like, dang, man. I said, I love this. So what I did is I got some backing tracks loaded onto the Rodecaster Pro 2, but if you're not familiar with this unit, you have like a few headphone outputs. So I have a cable going to my little PreSonus studio monitors. You know, I think they're like $100, but they sound amazing. They sound really, really good. So I went ahead and I said, I'm going to run a backing track through here and play through the stack, you know, and just standing in this small space, standing right here in the middle, the way that it's just coming at you, it sounded incredible. And my wife was out, you know, she went outside to smoke a cigarette or whatever. So I'm just sitting there, and it's not coarse. It's not loud, but it's louder than bedroom volume. You know how they say, but it sounded amazing. I was like, damn. I mean, I hadn't played it in so long. But yeah, Andrew Knox comments. He says, I had a 5152 back in the band days. Good amps. Yeah, man. I would love to check out the new EVH half stacks. I know Dave Stafford's got one, and he really loves his. I saw one at Guitar Center when I went. Last time I went there, it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. It looked good, but I'm not trying to hate on anything, but I would just order mine online and have it delivered. I don't know, man. I just don't know. This was a floor model when I got it years ago. It was the only model they had in that music store. Of course, that music store from back then has been gone. They tore it down and put an Applebee's there. So what does that tell you? But that was a floor model, you know, and I went there and tried it out. And the first time I ever messed with a half stack, way, way back then. I didn't know, you know, like what the hell's all these knobs do, you know? I just acted like I knew what I was doing. I walked in, and there was a PV Wolfgang Special hanging up. That's when the PV Wolfgang Specials were the thing. They were new, and it was a purple one, man. And it was hanging up, and it said sale. Had the cardboard, you know, poster board sign over top of it. It said sale. It said $7.99 with hard shell case. Can you imagine? I mean, I was like, and I looked at it and I asked the guy, I said, man, can I play that? Well, which is the PV 5150? He goes, yeah. And they kind of, you know, I don't know, man. Some of these guys, they look at you like, you poor fool. Yeah, you can play it. Go ahead. Because we know you ain't going to buy the damn thing. That's just kind of the impression I got, right? And I said, well, can I play that PV Wolfgang Special? Yeah. So he had to go get a ladder, and because it was up there, he got it down and brought it over to me. And I played it, you know, just doing some cowboy chords, as they say. Nothing crazy at all. Hey, Cushman, hey, man, how are you doing? Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. So I played it, and I really liked it, and I came back like a day or two later and purchased the amp. It was funny, man, because the guy, it was a different guy. I'm sorry. It was a different salesman. And I'm not the kind of guy that, you know, always has a lot of bankroll or something like that. That's not me. You know, I'm just a regular blue collar guy. But at this moment, my father had retired from his job, and he gave me a little bit of money. It wasn't a lot of money. It was, you know, a few $1,000s. And I was like, wow, man, you know, so I had my eye on that PV, and I walked in there, and the guy's like, hey, can I help you? I said, yeah, I want to try out that PV 5150. Again, this is a different salesman, right? He's like, okay. And again, I kind of got that. He wasn't as bad, but he kind of, you know, all right, yeah, this guy wants to sit here and play something. He ain't going to buy nothing, you know. The German Butcher, what is going on, brother, man? How are you doing, man? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Ralph just got back from him and his lovely bride just got back from a major concert road trip. They went and saw all these bands, and he sent me a message this morning that said it was amazing. And yeah, I'm glad you got to go, man. I'm glad you're back home safe. Thank you for hopping in. But anyway, I go to the store and a different salesman, and I said, yeah, I'd like to try out that PV 150 half stack. Okay. and I played, and this time I just got just a normal guitar off the wall. It was just, I already knew I was wanting to get it. I just wanted to play it again I don't know why. I guess because I was excited. I get done, cut the switches off, put the guitar back. I said, yeah, I think I'll get that, man. And the guy goes, okay. He starts to get like a credit application. He's getting the paperwork, and he's bringing it to me. He goes, all right, just fill this out right here. I said, what is that? He goes, you going to finance that? And I said, no, man, I'm going to buy it. Dude, his whole attitude changed, like, whoo, like, he's like, oh, okay, all right, He said, you need help taking it outside? I said, yeah. Back then I had another Ford Ranger. It was what they call Polo Green. That Cologne Polo from back in the day. See, man, that's Gen X. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Polo was a cologne back in the day, man. It might be laughed upon today, but I still got a bottle of that stuff in the cabinet in the bathroom. I ain't used it in forever. But every time I smell that stuff, it takes me back to my teenage youth. But it was the bottles were that dark green. That's what that Ford Ranger was. I call it Polo Green. Anyway, so I got that amp and still have it today. And like I said, I turned it on last week to play it, and it sounds incredible. Incredible. And I went to come in here and play over the weekend, and my wife goes, just make sure it's not really loud because I want to lay down. I said, no, I'm going to go through my normal setup, with the headphones. She said, okay, yeah. Let's see. Talking about Polo Cologne from back in the day. Andrew says the Polo is still the same. The bottle is blue now. Maybe a different scent. I don't know. I was a cool water guy. It was just, I remember back in the day, Polo was very popular. And that was just, things, they changed, So this past weekend, I said, all right, now you can maybe see, which way am I going here? There's a Fender Strat hanging it right there, all right? Tobacco Sunburst, Fender Strat. And that neck that it has, it only has 21 frets. And some people, that doesn't matter. They're like, what's the big deal, man? 21, 22, 24. Well, to me, if you have a 22 fret neck and you're playing something and you have to hit the very top note, a high E note, that's what the 22 fret is, 22nd fret, I should say, excuse me. And on a 21 fret, you really have to bend up really, really good to hit that pitch for that E note. So hence, if you have a 22 fret neck, it's easier to obtain. And that's what I've always played, 22 fret necks. So that neck came off another Fender Strat that I had from like 2001. I said, well, I'm going to order a 22 fret neck, and I'm going to take that neck off, and, I'll be good to go. Now, have I done that with other guitars? Yes. Where did I get those necks at the time? Mighty Mite. That's where I got them. And they're okay. They're all right. It always seems that where the locking nut is up top, there's a, when you put your locking nut on, it's like they should have sanded that down a little bit more so the locking nut would be a little bit lower, because it seems like the strings coming off that to the fretboard, there's like a big old gap like that. I'm like, damn, so if you're trying to do an F chord, good luck. It's like, man, I don't have that much pressure in my hand to do that, but. So anyway, I said, well, I did a Google search to try to find a Fender neck, 22 fret with a locking nut. Man, good luck with that. I even went on Fender's site, and maybe I didn't look long enough. Maybe I didn't look in the right spot, but I looked and looked, and I couldn't find nothing. And so I went to Guitarfetish. Now, I've talked about Guitarfetish before. I've gotten their pickups. I've got their quick connect system. That's why I like to order their pickups and stuff like that. I've upgraded. I had an issue with speaking of PV Wolfgang specials, man. I got a dark blue quilt one that I totally just redone myself. I took it to a music shop down the road a couple of different times, and they charged me, which is understandable. Nobody does work for free, but they charged me and they did this and that. And I got home, it wasn't right. The stuff was not right. I take it back and I'm like, okay, look, do something, put this other pickup in or whatever, or check it or something. And he's like, okay, well, we got to charge you. And I was like, but it doesn't work from what you did before. So why you got to charge me for this second time? Well, I didn't have nowhere else to go. I didn't want to go to Guitar Center. Hell, maybe in hindsight, maybe I should have. I don't know, but Guitar Center is a pretty good drive from here. So, I went to that place, and they're nice people, man. I'm not trying to hate on nobody. They're nice older gentlemen, but it just, the work just didn't, the guitar still sounded like crap, and it didn't function properly. So when I came across Guitarfetish and I saw that they have all the wiring harnesses and the pickups, you could swap all that stuff out. You don't have to solder anything. So I did that to the Peavey, and it's perfect. It's fantastic. It's great. So I was like, okay, thumbs up Guitarfetish, man. They saved the day for me. So trying to find a Fender Strat 22 fret neck with a locking nut. I said, well, I don't want to go back to Mighty Mite. And I said, hell, I got another Mighty Mite neck already back there with the stuff on it. And I said, I don't want to try them. Neck's a little bit chunky for my taste. So I said, well, let's go to Guitarfetish. They sell necks and bodies and stuff like that. So that's what I did. I went on Guitarfetish and I ordered this neck. All right. And this neck, as you can see, it's a left-handed neck. And for people who don't know, when they say left-handed, they go by the hand that you hold the pick. All right. So they didn't have any right-handed necks. Well, I said, well, I'll just get the left-handed neck and I'll just go like this. No big deal. I've already got a Hendrix Stratocaster back there with a reverse headstock or whatever you want to call it. No big deal. So I get this neck from Guitarfetish. All right. Now, it's a XGP. I think that means it's supposed to be better quality, I think, or something. I'm not quite sure. Well, this neck, it didn't have any of the hardware, all right? These are brand new locking tuners. This is a Floyd Rose R3 locking nut, Floyd Rose string retainer. And the neck itself, you want to take a guess how much this neck was? Anybody at all want to take a guess at how much I paid for this neck? And it's kind of got a gloss. To me, that's always I don't know. I'm not crazy about necks with a gloss finish on the actual fretboard. I could see it on the back, but not on the front. Cushman, you are right there, man. He says $70. You're right there. This neck cost me $75. And that should have been the first big red flag. But see, I was trying to find a neck that had a cutout for the locking nut. And this was all they had. And I was like, man, $75. I don't know, man. So I took a chance and ordered it and got it here. I put all the hardware on it. Took the other neck off, the Fender Strat on the wall there. And my whole day Saturday, or Saturday night, I should say, was putting this neck on. And see, another thing too, people may or may not realize, when you swap out a neck, you have to readjust everything. You have to, they say recalibrate everything. So it's just the way it is. That's just what goes on, because now you're getting the neck's a little bit longer, with that extra fret, and it just, it throws the balance of everything off. Zach Thong in the chat. Hey man, how you doing? I ain't seen you in a long time. I hope you're doing good, man. Thank you for being here. I hope you're doing good. Man, the people love Zach. Listen, awesome. Thank you for being here, Zach. But yeah, so you have to recalibrate everything, because now the everything, the balance, not that the balance is off, but the fulcrum, everything's off. So I put this neck on, and it fits in the pocket. It fits in the neck pocket great, nice and tight. It fits in there. I was like, okay, that's a great sign. So I put it on, and I'm watching. When I'm working on guitars, I like to watch guitar videos on YouTube. And I come across this channel a while back. I don't know if y'all know who he is. His name's Bad Brad. And I really enjoy watching his video. He's got great stories, though. Man, he graduated from GIT back in the day. And he's an amazing guitar player, man. But his stories is what I love to hear. I love a good storyteller. And he's got plenty of stories. If you're not familiar with Bad Brad on YouTube, check him out, man. I think he's about 58 years old. And he's got some great stories, man, and he's an incredible guitar player. So anyway, I spent my Saturday trying to get this neck on. I get it on, and every time you mess with the neck or anything like that, you got to, of course, cut the strings off, put a new set of strings, get everything tuned, get everything balanced out and calibrated. So I did that, and my God, it was just my ears are trained pretty good, man, for hearing something that's in tune, out of tune, or just off. Now, of course, that didn't happen right away when I first started playing 30-something years ago, but over time, they've gotten trained up pretty good. And I was playing along with a couple of tracks here, and I could tell, man, that's off. Something's wrong. So I checked the tuning. Now, new strings, yeah, they stretch. I'm aware of all that. And you have to fix the balance point of the Floyd with the screws in the back, and just all kind of stuff is involved. I guess this is why a lot of people don't want to mess with putting strings on the Floyd. But changing strings isn't bad. It's just when you're doing something like this, it's a little bit more tedious. So I'm trying to play, and I'm like, man, it's not right. So I tune it. Now, I also changed out the post. The posts that were on there were cheap, so I upgraded those posts. And it has a Godot Floyd 1996 on it. So I knew the Floyd and all that was great. And I never had no issue with anything with the neck that's on there now. Because that's an official Fender neck. I've never had no issue with it. Played fantastic, no issues whatsoever. I swapped necks out, put this Guitarfetish neck on. Everything just went to shit. Pardon my language. It did. It just went down. God almighty. So I checked everything on the neck. It's not doesn't have a bow in it or nothing. And it's just, I guess it's just cheap. Apparently that's the case, so I struck out on that. So I went through 3 sets of strings, because every time you readjust things, you got to take the strings off, unless you're going to go through all that trouble of getting them loose, take the Floyd off, set it over here, and you got all these strings in the way. Then it's just best to cut them, get rid of them, start from scratch again. So I sit there and I said, well, maybe it just needs to balance out more. So this went on, and I'm kind of battling in my mind with myself. I'm like, it just has to settle, man. It just has to, the strings have to settle and all this. So I'm sitting there playing, I'm doing the Floyd, doing a lot of dial bombs and trying to break in the strings, and you're stretching them. And it still just wasn't there. And when I would do it, here's the big red flag. When I do a D chord, it sounded horrible. And I said, God almighty. Now to me, you got 2 issues there. It's intonation or something going on with this cheap neck. So I know the intonation was fine on the Floyd. Now, could there be some more fine tuning on that? Of course. Yeah, I'm sure there could have been, but I know it's in the ballpark, especially with the neck that's on there now. It's fine, because there's a couple of chords I do to check stuff like intonation. If your intonation's off, one chord like a G chord might sound good. The D chord will sound like crap, and another chord sounds okay. So I was going over some songs like that had the D chord in it, like More Than a Feeling, Boston. When that song first starts, it's clean and it's a D chord and it goes to G, and I was playing that. I said, man, that sounds awful. But when I get to the G chord or whatever, it was okay. But had that wobble in it. I was like, damn. So I went ahead and got my Boss tuner, which if you don't have a chromatic tuner, man, I mean, I highly suggest getting a Boss chromatic tuner. It'll put your stuff in perfect tuning. Billy Shelton, man, what is going on, Billy? How you doing, man? I hope you're doing all right, brother, man. Thank you for being here. Zach says he's doing good. He just got back from a nature walk. Oh, okay, nice, man. Nothing like a good walk to help clear the head, you know? And it's good for you. That's good. So I was doing, you know, playing a couple of songs with the D chords and all that, and it didn't matter what I did. I retuned it, was doing this and that. It didn't matter. It sounded horrible. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, I done put all my tools up and everything because I figured, hey, I got it now. I've swapped out necks before and it was no big deal. It was no problem. But I paid more than $75 for the neck, you know. So you get what you pay for. So there's been times I've tried to not necessarily cheat the system, but try to get away without paying a lot of money. And it just doesn't work. Common sense, yes. But when you're dealing with this stuff, sometimes you're like, well, maybe this time it'll be okay. And there has been times where it's worked, like I said, but boy, it didn't work on this one. So I'm going to take this hardware off, and with this neck, I don't know. I can't use it. I don't think I could use it on another guitar. You know, I might try later down the road. So I put the original neck back on it. You have to recalibrate everything again. And I was getting nervous because I was like, man, can I get this back to the way it was? Finally, I did. Everything got to what I call the sweet spot, and it plays great. And I thought, man, you know, I wonder if you can find a Fender Strat neck 22 fret with a locking nut on it, right? And I found one. So let me show you this. This is incredible. I was like, what? And I was just, Let's see. I don't know. This is going to work. Let's see. I forgot I'm using the wrong. Let's see. Let's do this. Okay. I don't know. Y'all have to let me know if this works. I don't know. Is that working? Let's see. Can y'all see this right here? I hope I'm on the wrong web browser. I meant to do, I'm using Firefox. But if you can see this, I found a Fender neck on eBay. And it's got the locking nut. It's 22 frets. But look, the price is $419.99. And this guy has 100% feedback with over 4,000 reviews. So you know it's going to be good. But so if you want this neck bad enough, it's going to cost you or me. And I think with tax and everything, it come out to be like $445, something like that. But that's what I would need. And I think it's a little overpriced, but these things are very rare. And you just can't find them. You know, you just cannot find them. It's incredible. Wow. That's crazy. I tell you what, I thought about it and I said, man, let's see if I can stop sharing here. Stop sharing. Yeah, I don't know if that worked or not. If it didn't, I apologize. But yeah, that's like, yeah, I don't think I want that neck that bad. I can make do with the one less fret on here, and I just bend up an extra half a step to hit that note. So when I get everything back together, I went through, like I said, 3 sets of strings. Thank God I had some extra strings. Big shout out to Ted Fair, who sent me some quite a few packs of strings a while back, and that guitar toolkit, man, that was very kind because that came in handy big time. It came in handy over the weekend because I definitely had to use that. So this Guitarfetish neck was a fail. It was a fail. $75. It was a fail. I hate to say it, but it didn't work for me. It didn't work for this Strat here. Sad to say. But you live and learn. That's just the way it goes with stuff like this, man. But like I said, when I got the other neck, the original neck back on it, it's not the original neck, but the neck that I took off another Strat and put it on there, it's fine. It's great. It just goes to show you, man, just pay a little extra, man, and get the right thing. It did. He said, that costs you more in strings than the cost of the neck almost. Yeah, it did. Pretty close, man. I mean, I was like, believe me, that was going, I was like, oh my God. It was going through my head. I said, because every time I kept trying to adjust and everything, it just wasn't working. It was because it's just cheap, And the thing is, the SBS guitar I have, you can't see it. It's right there, that purple Steve Brown sound I got from Guitarfetish. It's great. I mean, the neck on that is roasted maple neck. Everything's good. Now, I did have to upgrade the Floyd on it. But I was from Guitarfetish, and it's great. Now, I think it was I don't know, man, $370, $375. I could be wrong on the price. And I was like, well, man, how come you can get a decent guitar for that, but the necks ain't worth a crap? I don't understand that. So I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. You live and learn. And believe me, I learned. I said from now on, because I have ordered an actual Fender roasted neck from Fender directly for a Strat that I was, another Fender Strat I was working on a few years ago. And of course, it fit like a glove. You didn't have to do nothing. But that neck cost me like $350. But it's a beautiful neck. It's incredible. Pop that sucker in there, and I put my tuners on and all that, and good to go. And it plays amazing. Plays amazing. All right, moving on to the next story. Man, I keep hearing that, or my wife texted me and said, did you hear that Bob Seger died? And I was like, do what? I said, nah. So I'm not going to share a screen again because I don't know if that's going to work or not. Because I have no idea. But Bob Seger has not passed away. If anybody has heard that news today like I have, Bob Seger has not passed away. He is still alive, thank God. All those famous songs that I grew up listening by Bob Seger, amazing. And one of the bands I was in, we did a couple of his songs, Night Moves and Turn the Page, amazing songs. Just when you hear that acoustic intro for Night Moves, it still gives me goosebumps today. I love that song. Incredible. So Bob Seger, God bless, thank God he has not passed. I don't know where that rumor came from, but somebody stirred something up on the internet and it gathered attention. How, I don't know, but no, Bob Seger did not pass away. He is still alive. So this next story I wanted to talk about, not really a story, this next event that I want to touch on, because I didn't want to say nothing before, because the way my luck goes, it might have jinxed everything or jinxed something for me. Just like with his neck. I talked about it in another videos. I'm going to order a neck, man. And come. Yeah, I shouldn't have said anything. Just kept my damn mouth shut. But so a little over 2 weeks ago, now this is not guitar related, so if you want to stick around for this, feel free. I hope you do. A little over 2 weeks ago, my wife is down in Somerville, right? And I'm in the big rig. Dude, we just fade out there for a second. I don't understand that at all. Sorry if there was any interference there. I don't know what happened there. I'm in the big rig and I'm heading down the road. And I was going through Columbia. I just got on I-20. And I was just crossing the Broad River, going eastbound on 20. So in other words, I'm putting Columbia in my rearview mirror. I was on the phone with my mother, making sure she was all right. And then my wife beeped in, which is odd because she usually doesn't really call unless something's wrong, you know. And for the most part, that's what it's about, you know. Not that something's wrong, but there's something going on, something, you know. And so when she calls, sometimes I get a little nervous because I'm like, uh-oh. You know, so I was on the phone with my mom, and I said, hang on, Mom, Cheryl's beeping in. Hang on just 1 second. Let me switch over to her and make sure everything's all right. Mom said, okay, just call me back when you get done. I said, all right. So I switch over to my wife, and I said, hello? And she goes, hey, what are you doing? So right away, I knew it wasn't nothing horrific. I could just tell by the tone of her voice, you know. I knew something was up, but I was like, this is okay. She sounds all right, but something sounds off, you know. I said, oh, not much, just, you know, out here putting the miles down, trying to get these miles behind me, honey. What you up to? She said, you know, when, now she loves scratch-offs. She loves the scratch-off tickets. And when my father was living, he loved that stuff too, man. And he loved to play the Powerball and all this stuff. I don't play none of that stuff. I mean, to each their own. If you want to play the lottery, man, hell, you can't win it unless you win it, they say. But I just don't play it. But she does, you know. She plays all that stuff. Not all of it, but most of it. But her big thing is scratch-offs. So she said, hey, what are you doing? I said, just riding down the road. And she said, you know those scratch-offs I got the week before? So this would have been about 3 or 4 weeks ago. The scratch-offs she's talking about. I said, yeah. And she said, those added up to like, I don't know, $50 to $70 in total winnings. So it was like 4 or 5 scratch-offs. Put them together, it was like $50 or $70. I said, yeah. She goes, well, I was down here at this Harris Teeter in Somerville. She goes, you remember the one I'm talking about? And it's a nice ass Harris Teeter too, man. I remember Harris Teeter when I was just a little kid. And so that's the only memory I have of that. So I said, yeah, I know which one you're talking about, dear. She said, well, I went in there and bought, I think she bought 5 $10 scratch-offs. And she said, I just scratched them off just a few minutes ago. She goes, I bought them earlier this afternoon, but they were in my purse. I didn't mess with them until just a few minutes ago and scratched them off. She said the first 3 were nothing, and then the fourth one was like $30. And then the last one, she scratched it off. She said, I hit for $10,000. And I said, do what? And so I'm thinking, yeah, okay, right. You know, but my wife's not one of those to really bullshit a lot. Pardon my language. She don't. She tells you something, it's straight up, you know. So I'm like, okay, yeah. I said, this ain't funny, dear. You know, I'm out here working hard trying to make this money, and you gonna tell me some stuff like that, you know. She started laughing. She said, no, I'm serious. She said, I'm serious. It was I hit for $10,000. And so I'm like, all right, oh my God. You know, and I said, dang. I said, that would go great in our savings account. She goes, really? So I can't say nothing. Look at all this, man. I can't say nothing. I've had my fair share of spending money, but you know, so I really couldn't say nothing. I said, okay. I mean, she scratched it off. She won it, right? And I said, well, congratulations, dear. That's awesome. You know, because I was thrilled. I was happy for her because she's been doing them scratch-offs for a long time. So now I know this from experience with the scratch-off, with the lottery commission. If you win on a scratch-off, if it's $500 or less, you can go back to where you bought it or any other store that sells scratch-offs, and you can give them the ticket and they'll give you the cash. If it's over $500, you have to either go to Columbia, well, that's where the lottery commission is, and go in person and give them the scratch off, and they'll cut you a check, or you can mail it. So she's only won a few other times. I mean, she's won here and there, but it wasn't nothing. She might have won $100 here, $300 here. She has won $500 a few times. She's hit $1,000 2 different times. So I told her, I said, your best bet is just to mail it. I said, go to the post office, do it certified mail, put it in one of those business cardboard envelopes, and get a tracking number. Because if you win over $500, you got to print out this paperwork. You got to fill it out. You got to make a copy of your ID. There's some stuff involved. And so she did that. She mailed it. And the other time she won. This time she goes, well, when I get back home, I'll mail it. I said, okay. So, but I guess she couldn't wait. So a couple of days before she left, she goes, look, I went to the post office and went ahead and just mailed it. So because Somerville's a lot closer to Columbia than from where we live. So, yeah, I understand what you mean. I'll hit that comment in a minute. Let's see. Andrew says, my first job was a bag boy at Harris Teeter. It was my very first job. I was a bag boy at Bilo. My very first job in school. Andrew says $10,000. I'm delivering that myself. Well, here's the thing. Again, I'm not trying to hate on anything. I'm just telling you. In Columbia, I would imagine, I haven't looked, I haven't checked, but I don't know, man. Some of Columbia is very sketchy. I go through there every night. Now, granted, I'm on the interstate. I'm not going through the city streets, but it just looks kind of sketch to me. So I told her, I said, you don't need to go to the lottery commission because I'm sure there's a lot of evil people out there, and I'm sure they're probably scoping. There'll go somebody inside the building, man, when they come out. You just don't never know. So I said, it's safer to just mail it. So she did. She went ahead and mailed it. And we were trying to figure up the taxes. Now, I do know when she hit for 1,000 and she mailed that in, they sent a check back. You get it in a week. I mean, the turnaround's pretty good. So when she hit for 1,000, she got like $965. So I'm like, wow, that's not bad. Okay, so she sends this in, and she got the check. I think it was this past Friday. Yeah. Golly, dude, they ate that damn thing up. They ate it up with federal and state. She ended up getting right at 6,500. That was it. That was the total winnings after taxes. Now, don't get me wrong. $6,500 is still damn good money for. We didn't have $6,500 to start with, but anyway. So it did go into savings, yeah, and I was glad. I was glad because I said, yeah, we need to. Well, I didn't say that. I was thinking that, and so it went into savings, and she did give me a little handful of money, which I thought was very kind. So I took that money and I paid off that Hendrix purple Strat. I had it financed through a firm. I don't know if anybody is familiar with a firm. They're all over the place. You can get stuff. If I've done a firm, like let's say, like that neck right there I saw on eBay, I could go ahead and use a firm to go ahead and get it, so the guy will ship it, and then when I get paid, I'll go ahead and just pay it off. I use a firm to be able to get something, so nobody else will swipe it out from underneath me. Because the firm is like, okay, we'll go ahead and get it, and you just pay us a little later. The only downside to a firm is their interest is high, But here's the good thing. If you do anything through a firm and you pay it off early, I mean, especially real early, they don't charge you that interest. That interest disappears. So that Hendrix Strat right there, I bought it, maybe a month ago from eBay. It was in mint condition. It still has the plastic on the pick guard. and it was $1,000, and then of course with shipping and tax, it come up to like 11 something. $6,500. Cushman says that's still not bad for a scratch off. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I mean, you know, I knew there was going to be taxes, but I didn't know they was going to eat it up like that. But still, $6,500 out of a $10,000 winning scratch off. I'll take that any day of the week. Because, you know, if I go out here and try to earn $6,500, it's going to take quite a while for me to earn that money. But yeah, so I took the money she gave me, I took it and paid that off. And I said, I need to just pay that off. That way, that's out of the way. It's done. So I went on a firm and paid it off, and it's done. So I was sitting there thinking, man, I said, dang, man, that Charvel at Guitar Center is nice, man. That white and gold, I like to get that. I said, see, that's the thing, man. That's what, if you're a guitar player, people that are not guitar players, they just don't get it. They're like, how many guitars do you need, bro? Just one more. Just one more. Oh, Lord. But no, I didn't do that, man. Y'all be proud of me. I said, nope, not doing that, man. I'm going to get this off of my shoulders, and I still got a couple other things to pay off, and I'll be sitting pretty, man. Yeah, well, I mean, they've already taxed it. They did the federal and state. So I'm hoping they ain't going to do it again. I hope. But hell, I'm not an accountant. I don't know. Who knows? They probably will. With our luck, they'll probably hit it again for something. I don't know. But yeah, man. Oh, and I got these, I wanted to tell y'all this too. I forgot. You know, I've always liked the EVH picks, but they always had that sandpaper grip to them, and I can't play with a pick like that. So I found these. Actually, I saw an advertisement on Facebook for Guitar Center, and it's the Tortex EVH picks. I don't know how good you can see that. Here. Turn it around. All right, so these are 1 millimeter, and these are fantastic. Now I think 6 came to a pack, and it was like $9.99, I believe. But these picks are incredible. I was like, come on, man, $10 for 6 picks, but they're really, really good. And so I ordered 2 packs online, and when I went to Guitar Center about a month ago, if that's correct, they had a couple more packs, but it was like 1.15 millimeter or something, and I was like, the hell is that? So, but I bought a couple of packs anyway. But the reason I can tell a pick does really, really well, in my opinion, is when I do pick slides, it doesn't start to dig into the side of the pick really quick. Does that make sense? And right here where your pick, because I hold this pick with the stripes facing up, facing toward me. So when I play, and I've been using these 2 picks for a while, there's like hardly no wear on it whatsoever. So that's a good quality pick. And it's 1 millimeter. And I think it does fantastic. So I highly suggest those picks. If you like EVH and you like those types of picks, of course they have 0.75, whatever, the thinner ones. I got a couple of the thinner ones with that sandpaper grip because that's all they had back in the day. And I was like, man, I can't use these, man. Because when I go to, I don't know, try to tap or something and try to move the pick, it just doesn't work for me at all. So those picks are great. Highly suggest those picks if you're into that kind of thing. Have I got any? No, I ain't got no new pedals or nothing. I think I think I need to sit tight for a while with some gear. I have had a couple of friends send me some links to a new pedal that's out, and it's supposed to be like really similar to the 5150. It's a red pedal. I can't remember the name of it. Bad Brad demoed it on his channel. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty happy with my new XMG 400. I still enjoy that processor, man. It just it sounds so good. I really enjoy that. Fantastic. And the contemporary Strat, y'all see that right there? The shell pink. That guitar, for the money, I thought is fantastic. My son was asking me about that over the weekend. He goes, how do you like that Squier Strat? I said, man, I love it. I said, really, where they really put the quality, the extra little oomph, if you will, is in the neck. The neck is incredible. And but I did replace some of the parts on the Floyd to stainless steel, and I replaced the Floyd posts, because I was like, it was the same Floyd that came on the SBS model. Where am I? Back here. Steve Brown sound. It was the same black Floyd, and it just in white font it says Floyd Rose up there, like almost like a cursive type font. And I said, that's the same Floyd that was on the Steve Brown sound guitar from Guitarfetish. Because when I got it, I played it. This is the Steve Brown sound model. I got it. I didn't do anything. I just put new strings on it, played it. Man, it wouldn't hold its pitch. And I said, yep, I know what's going on there. Got to get rid of those posts, and you got to upgrade some of these things to stainless steel. And I did that. It was great. I did that on the contemporary Strat. It's fantastic. So, if you're looking for a guitar, I've always kind of done the mid-tier range guitars. That's just what I've always done. I mean, yeah, I have a few guitars that were over $1,000, and to me, that's a lot of money. And to other people, it's not. But to me, that's a lot of money. So I've always been kind of a mid-tier guitar guy. In that Squier contemporary Strat, I was shocked. I was like, man. I was like, wow. Now, do you have to upgrade stuff on guitars like that all the time? No. No, you don't have to, but I knew with that particular Floyd model, I knew what was coming because I'd been through it already, a few times already. I said, yeah, you might as well upgrade those parts, man, and you can just bypass that aggravation, and I did. And, the only thing is, especially when you get a new guitar or you upgrade some of the Floyd and you put new strings on, you can sit there and play it for like 2 or 3 days, and you're playing the heck out of it, right? And you'll put it on the hanger or the stand. You'll come back to it a few days later, and it's like, whoa, why is it all the tuning just flat? So you got to readjust things. And that comes from temperature in the room, and it's just the way it is. You might get a little fret sprout, from winter to summer or vice versa. You might get little things like that. And it's just part of it, Cushman says, never had a Floyd. Never had a guitar with a Floyd. Okay. So by your picture, you must be a Les Paul guy, I'm assuming. Yeah, Floyds are, they're a different beast altogether, man. I mean, if you kind of understand how to set up like a floating system, and the EVH guitars usually have a non-floating, so they're just solid to the body there. They're just flush with the body. So a floating system is you can hit a note and you can kind of do the bar up and down a little bit to give it a nice vibrato. And a non-floating system, you can only push the bar down. You can't really raise it up. But Floyd Rose systems are nice, man. You just got to understand them. I mean, for the longest time, I didn't want to mess with them. I was like, man, I don't know. Because I would change strings and it was, I could never seem to get it in pitch. And then one day, after months of messing with it, one day it just clicked in my head. I said, wait a minute, let's see here. You got some springs in the back. All right, you got your system up front. You got the strings that go across to the locking nut. Okay, this is all just a balancing act. So once you get it tuned, and you got to make sure that Floyd is not sticking up like this, you know, when you off the body, you want it to be kind of level. If it's a floating system, be level with the body, not sticking up. I dealt with that for years. I didn't know how to fix that. But once you understand how to level everything out and you understand the balance point of everything, it's not bad at all, man. It's not bad. I love using the Floyd Rose. I love it. I've seen people that had guitars with Floyd Roses on them, and they have the same strings on them for years because they didn't understand how to change them and how to set it up. And I was like, wow, dang. You know, or if a string would break, you'd be like, well, yeah, I don't know, man. I'll change it some other time. I always blew my mind. I was like, what are you doing, man? But yeah, once you get them set up, man, they're nice. I love the floating Floyd Rose systems myself. Those are, you just get more, to me, I get more out of that. Kind of get more, what's the word I'm looking for? More acrobatics, if you will, you know. And you can do it with a non-floating. You just kind of know, just start with the bar kind of down a little bit already and let it come up. Eddie did that all the time. So it would kind of fool the ears, you know, a little bit. But, yeah, a floating system to me, has always been one of my favorites. The one thing I never understood is guitars that have a decent system on it, but it doesn't have a locking nut. And that always just drives me crazy. You know, you see people doing it and they're doing the bar. Now, they're not doing nothing radical, but they're doing stuff, whatever, and they're playing and they say, well, the guitar has locking tuners up top. Yeah, but still, those strings are going to slide back and forth on the nut up there. And, but if you're gentle, I guess, with it and just do simple vibrato kind of things, it'll be okay. But I like to do dial bombs and harmonics and squeals, and I love doing the acrobatics. That's just part of my style. That's just what the type of music I grew up with in the 80s, that you heard a lot of that. Now, can you overdo it? Of course. You have to be a little tasteful if you can. It's like using a wah pedal. Oh my God, I love using a wah. But if you do it too much, it gets sour quick. You just got to know where to put things. I tell you what I've been doing a lot of, trying to incorporate more, and that's my flanger. You know, not only, of course, on like Unchained and all that, yeah, but just sometimes I just throw it in random places doing a song. And it reminds me of, I know where I'm getting that from now that I thought about it. I said, man, who used to do that a lot? Just out of nowhere, you hear a flanger. Prince did that a lot. He wouldn't use it to play a note much. He would just use it as an effect. Like if he's just going, and then while he's doing this, like he's muting, doing chunka, he'll hit that flanger, and you would hear the flanger do its thing, and he'd click it right back off. Prince did that a lot, especially in the Purple Rain era days, you know, and after. But I think that's where I'm picking that up from. But I like doing that. And you just put it certain little spots here and there, no overkill, just a little here. And I do that to see if people pick up on it. I mean, if they do or not, it's no big deal. But to me, it gives a little extra little spice to the backing track that I'm playing, you know. Oh, by the way, I've had a couple people ask, hey, when you went to Harris and did that live video and you went to that little stage and you said you were going to reach out to the entertainment director, did you hear anything? Well, the short answer, no, I didn't hear anything. Did I reach out to anybody? Yes. The entertainment director was really nice, and he said, well, you need to reach out to this person. We use a vendor, is what he said. We use a vendor to book different bar areas in the casino. And I was like, oh, man. So it's like you go to this person, then they send you to this person, and I was like, okay, well, you go through the steps. So I reached out to that guy, The entertainment directors gave me the guy's email. I reached out to him. I never heard nothing back. And I looked up the company that he's with, and it's a legit company. But I reached out to him, and I never heard nothing. So that's just the way it goes, man. I mean, you know, you have to roll the dice. No pun intended, being in a casino, right? You just have to roll the dice. So no harm, no foul. I would still love to play there at that little bar area. I mean, I don't care if it's just 3 people sitting there. It's not, I don't care about that. You know, I just want to play there because of sentimental reasons. That's it. To me, it would be a cool, nice bow on the top of the memories and the life of my father and the times that we were all up there playing and having a good time. And my dad always enjoyed going there before he got really sick. So, and I never really got to play for my father in that kind of fashion. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was one of my dreams. I was always wanting to play in front of my parents. Because, you know, they were the ones that got me my first guitar, Christmas Eve of '86, you know, and I was like, one of these days, you know, you think about this when you're growing up. One of these days, I want to play for my parents and let them see, hey, this is what I can do now. But, no, I mean, I played for them, like, you know, take the little amp out in the living room or something and you do it, but that ain't really, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about actually playing on some type of stage. Now, at the lake, where I did a lot of growing up, there was a stage there. They had it like a rec building, you know, and they had entertainment there on the weekends. I was hopefully wanting to do that, but that just never worked out. Just never worked out. But so that's why I would love to play there. And if I was able to, you know, take my mother with us and that would be, you know, to me, that would mean the world, you know. But see, you're trying to reach out to these people, and I'm not saying they're heartless people. I don't know anybody that's involved with it. I'm not saying no hate whatsoever, but they're busy people. They're not worried about, oh, well, he's doing this for this. At the end of the day, do they really care? I highly doubt it. I don't think they really care, which is understandable. I'm nobody, and I'm just a guy who plays music in his music room on YouTube and, you know, tries to make a living driving a rig. That's it, you know. But if I could play at a place like that, that would be the ultimate kind of like awesome moment for me to put a bow on top of that, like I said. Well, folks, we've hit over the hour mark. I need to get ready to go. It is 4:45, man, 4:45. I want to say thank you to everybody that took the time to tune in to this live stream, man. I really enjoy it. And, well, I did enjoy it, and I hope y'all enjoyed it as well. Thank you so much. Tune in again this coming Saturday, Talking Guitars and More. We got that coming up, and we'll be talking about all kind of cool stuff. Who knows? We'll find out. All right. Thank y'all. Have a wonderful day. God bless. We'll see you on the next time around. I'm Joe from Jones Project TV. Take care.
She came in and sat down right in front of me. She picked up her glass of wine as I took to see. She said, we got love on the line, so stop.